We will kick things off with opening thoughts tonight from head coach Chris Armas. Chris?
Well, yeah, it's the first thing to mention is the big honor tonight for the Evergreen boys varsity and JV soccer teams. With the recent tragedy in Evergreen, really our hearts are and prayers are with the whole community, the entire school. But it was really cool to have those boys honored tonight and to mix in with them and just to spend a few minutes and that was really a nice gesture from our club to make that possible, but then that they were willing to come hang out with us for the night. Look, I think when we look back at the game, we always want to get all the points here at home, but you can't control that. You can't, players and coaches control their behaviors and how they step on the pitch and how they go after the game, and then the result comes later on. But I'm proud of the way the team stepped on the pitch and finished the game. In many ways, it felt like the Houston game with some of the late corner kicks and the push that we made. So on the night in general, if you thought, what does Minnesota have? They have transition, long throw-ins, corner kicks. We did a good job with that stuff. I think we limited them to two shots on goal all night, something like this. That's a positive for us, and that we pushed to the very last minute to get the winner. They're a good team. It's why they're in third place. But this is what the playoffs feels like. The point will be important, I'm sure, with the next two games coming up. But, we have to accept that we can be sharper and we can be even better.
Matt Pollard, Burgundy Wave. Chris, to your point, I think it was the 65th minute Minnesota got the goal. So in the final 25 minutes, what did you want to see more of? Or, what were you trying to have the team do more of to try and attack and break down that low block from Minnesota?
Oh, we want to see the subs come in, bring some energy and quality. We want to see the team, as we're pushing, still control things behind the attack to limit transition. We want to be playing the game in their half. We want to create chances. We want to get into certain spaces. We want to have discipline with attacking structure, positional structure. We want to then execute and slow down and make the right pass or shot at the right moment with the right pace on those things. So, and we saw a lot of that. We saw Reggie getting around the corner. We saw Calvin have some big moments. Santos and Sam Vines, when he came in, created some good moments. Set pieces that we want to see executed. So Cole Bassett at the buzzer gets a really good look there. It's hard; those aren't easy, and Yappy almost turned one in the corner there too. So what we want to see is kind of what we saw, minus we didn't get the goal.
Coach Rafael Santos, in just a few matches, he has 1 goal and 3 assists. What is it about his game that just makes the team better in the little time that he's been here?
Well, Rafa Santos is an attacking fullback, and we like that. That he gets forward with pace and a real conviction. But his left foot, you could see even on the free kick, the ball pops off his foot. He hits a good cross. I think from day one he says he's felt comfortable here, and he plays free, and that's what we want to encourage. We want to be fuel on his fire, to keep attacking, to keep getting forward, to keep helping us, create chances up there. So I think that his defensive reactions tonight were the best I've seen, and he put in a good performance.
Brainerd Denver Post in the similar vein, we've asked about Rafa Santos, I think every press conference since he's joined, but what has really improved the most? You mentioned the defense, but what do you think has improved the most since he's got here?
Well, yeah, late in the season when we add players, every team has a certain challenge when it's late to try to get them up to speed with how you do things, what the demands are, in possession, out of possession, just some of our ways of doing things. So, for him, I think the two things is just his positioning, and some of the rotations we do with the ball. And sometimes it requires him to be shallow, and sometimes it requires him to be higher up and helping him understand what to do when. So that I thought that was good on the night. And then defensively, it's just also the positioning. The same positioning in attack has to be a good position when we don't have the ball too. So when it's on the other side of the pitch, maybe is he tucking in? Does he have urgency? Is he aware? And are his recovery runs done with urgency? And also on the night, I thought it was positive.
Matthew Wick with Pitcast. Chris, can you talk a little bit about your philosophy with the timing of substitutes we saw tonight, and then with the Houston game? Your substitutions seem to be reactive to the around 65th minute goal. What's your philosophy going into that?
My philosophy with substitutions is I'm watching the game and reacting to what the game needs. So there's not usually 10 scenarios that I make subs. Are we looking to preserve a lead? Are we looking to get a goal? Are there tired legs? Are there injuries? So tonight, you can see that a lot of guys are playing well, and then if we want to spark the game, our wingers usually fatigue. Guys like Calvin, the demands are very high. He's a sprinter. So I think going into the game, that might be a guy that we need to move. Josh Atencio, tagged for 60, 70 minutes from the performance guys because we know he's coming off a 7-week injury. So that was one we were likely going to make. And then after that, it's at some stage we're thinking Kudi Pietro is a guy that can help us preserve a lead or get us a goal. So none of these are oftentimes made before the game, but we know the different scenarios that come, and I'm usually proactive, not reactive with my subs. So that is my philosophy, to be more proactive than reactive, but usually just feel in and listen to the voice of the game.
I guess kind of an extension of that question. One of the wingers not brought on was Manyoma. I know he hasn't been here for long. We have until July to kind of make a decision on that, but was there a reason that he was not used as a sub, or is just a gut feeling based on what you're seeing in the game?
Yeah, look, I think one of the challenges, like I said, was late in the season when you bring players in, their reinforcements, which we like, big positive, but again, just helping understand how we play and all the fine details that are important. And we also want to set him up for success. So the more information we get, we realize, okay, what he can give, and different moments. We had a few scenarios that he would come on tonight, but we wanted to get Yappy on. He's a guy that's got goals. He understands our system. And we didn't want to move too many things around. We liked Paxton in the middle where he can make things happen. So then we're deciding essentially between Yappy and Manyoma. So we went with the guy that we see at home, especially that can score goals, gets the fans going. And quite honestly, I thought he was pretty dangerous even towards the end there, Yappy. Helped us almost get a goal at the buzzer.
Apologies. Chris, I've spoken to Chris Cartledge and Brian Crookham this week about the player assignments, and this week presented a unique situation where Rapids 2 were playing both on the same day and earlier than the first team was. How did that complicate or make things interesting in terms of player assignments and maybe figuring out what your bench looked like earlier on in the week?
Well, it's on a night like tonight, it works against the second team a little bit, right? So no, for us, we had the guys in our roster that we wanted to have. So guys like Cole Bassett has done well, with the second group too, and Alex Harris. So they come in and they don't get the minutes with us tonight. The second team could have used them, but we prioritize the first team. So it has more of an effect on the second team than us. So it's good to have those guys at our disposal. But that's the reverse effect that it normally is. So we can usually see after the game who needs the minutes, and they can go and play. Helps the player and helps the second team. So we didn't have any. It was good. It worked out well for us to have those guys available.
All right, we have time for just 2 more questions here for Chris.
As we do approach the close of the season, is there anything more that you're hoping to see or accomplish from your team in general?
Yeah, look, I want to keep. We have one more home game. I'm so grateful for our fans. That's the first thing that I want to keep seeing around here. That they show up. They're so energetic. They are great, our fans. But with the team, look, I want to continue seeing for a team that grows and can sway the differences. Against Houston at home, we did that. And tonight I thought we made a good push against a stingy team to get the winner. So can we find ways to sway the margins? I'd like to see that. I'd like to see us also be a team that when we go on the road, we have this same mentality and urgency, because we're going to need that, right? We have one more at home and a cup final essentially in Salt Lake. So with one home and one away, I want to see the same intensity, execution, and defensive solitude. Is it like this the way to play solid defending team defense on the road? Yeah.
Last one.
Chris, with 2 games left in the regular season, maybe a playoff run, is there any update you can give on potentially your future with the club?
Yeah, listen, I appreciate it. I'm not going to say too much about it. It's great that I love it here. The club and Porg. It's the good thing is that I think it's getting close. I think looks like I'll be here in the future, which is great. The club wants me to be here, and I want to be here, and that's the most important thing. Negotiations are they take some time sometimes, but I love the work that we've done here, and that it's been appreciated by the club. So, yeah, nothing more than that to say at the time.
And that concludes our press conference with head coach Chris Armas. Thank you so much. Thanks, coach.
Okay, thank you.
We have goalkeeper here, Zach Steffen. Zach, why don't you start with your thoughts on tonight's match?
Yeah, I thought we were unfortunate not to come away with 3 points. I thought we had most of the control, and I thought the guys in front of me did a great job. And yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't get 3 points tonight.
Brandon Nurse with Denver Post, Zach. Can you just talk about what Rafael Santos adds to this team on both ends? And as a whole, just from your perspective, what has improved in terms of cohesion in the back line since it's changed with Rob and Santos?
Yeah, Rafa's been spark for us attacking for sure. He's very technical. He serves in a good ball. His goal tonight was an example of that. And yeah, we're really happy he's here. A great person and is really hungry to fight for the team. And then Rob coming in just brings a lot of experience and energy and calmness. And so I think he's definitely helped us. Just with the experience.
Zach, when we're on the back line, it seems like it's been kind of fluid throughout the season, whether it be injuries or players coming in and out. Does your approach change depending on who's back there, or does it stay the same no matter what?
Yeah, I mean, you got to communicate to players differently. Some guys you can get on, some guys you got to be a little bit softer and give them more support, and that's just what I'm trying to do, is just trying to lead from the back and help out everybody as much as I can.
Zach, there was a little bit of an observation from the fan base earlier in the season that it would seem like Reggie would take a really hard tackle, appear to be hurt, and he'd get up and be fine. You know, he was walking a little bit gingerly at times. I'm not going to speculate, but what can you say about him just having that dog in him to play through difficult moments and contribute?
Reggie's been immense for us this year. A great guy in the locker room, but then on the field, just relentless. Such a good defender, and then he loves to go forward. He's been getting in the attack a lot lately, and we love that, and we need that. So, I'm glad he could fight through tonight, and he played well again tonight, and really, really happy for him and proud of him.
Zach, Kendall Starks had his debut for Rapids 2 today. What does your role as a mentor in that locker room for someone like Kendall look like?
Yeah, I think it's just when he comes up and trains with us and I see him and I'm with him, it's just giving him support and advice and just being honest with what I see in when he's in net. Trying to help him out and trying to just trying to support him in any way I mean, that's what I try to do with all the keepers, and that's what they do with us, and it's just a good camaraderie that we have built.
Zach, anybody who's watched Minnesota knows the threat they possess on set pieces, but it looked like tonight, like you guys were expecting where the ball was coming. You guys were in position to take care of that. How important was the organization and just understanding what they were trying to do and keeping them off the board on set pieces? Yeah,
it's massive. They're really good at set pieces, so. In the first game, in their place, we were really good and really on it and mentally strong, and that's exactly what we were tonight. And the last few games, we've gotten away from that, and we focused on that for tonight, and we got to continue to get back to that going forward.
All right, we have time for just a couple more questions here for Zach, as he does have an appearance after this media availability.
You gotten to speak to Adam since he got to Chile?
Yeah, a little bit. I was texting him yesterday, and really excited for him. I remember my U20 days in the World Cup, and it was awesome. Such a fun experience with those guys. So I'm really happy for him, really excited for him, and hopefully he gets the minutes and proves his value.
Last one.
Zach, even with the improvements with Santos and Rob coming in, there's been some frustrating moments defensively. Haven't kept a lot of clean sheets. I don't want to say that the goals for Houston and Minnesota tonight were fluky, but what more does the team need to do defensively to keep the ball out of the net?
Yeah, it's been tough, man. I think we just gotta. I mean, I feel like a lot of the goals come from bad giveaways, silly giveaways, and then it's a transition, and we're open, and then teams are punishing us. And I think we just gotta get connected better and get together and keep them away from our net.
And that concludes our press conference with goalkeeper Zach Steffen. We will return with Mix